So let me ask you something. How many times have you Googled how to get my kid to sleep? How many YouTube rabbit holes, how many Facebook groups, how many pediatrician appointments where you were told to just try melatonin, establish a better sleep routine, use some blackout curtains, right? And you went home and you tried it, and your child was still staring at the ceiling at 10 p.m. I know that you've done everything right. I know that you have, right? The blackout curtains are up, the white noise machine's running. You cut out screens an hour or more before bed, and you do the same routine every single night like clockwork. And yet, your child's still exhausted and they're not sleeping. And here's what I want you to hear today. And I mean this. I really want you to hear it. You're not failing as a parent. Your child's not broken. And the solution is not another supplement, another app, another sleep training method. What you're dealing with is a nervous system that's stuck. And until someone addresses that piece to it, there's nothing else that's going to work the way that it should. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to cover exactly what's happening inside your child's nervous system that's preventing sleep, why the conventional advice keeps missing the mark, and what neurologically focused chiropractic care actually does to fix the real problem at the source. So let's get into it. This is the thing that nobody tells us about sleep. It's not just a habit. It's not a behavior. Sleep's a neurological event. Your child's body does not decide to fall asleep because the lights are off and the noise machine is running. Their nervous system has to initiate a very specific chain reaction. And if that chain reaction can't fire properly, it doesn't matter what the environment looks like. So think about it this way. Your Wi-Fi router can be sitting in that perfect spot in your house. You've positioned it right, it's on the ledge, maybe it's hidden, you got the best modem that money can buy, but if that signal going out's corrupted, if there's interference in the system, the devices won't connect no matter how good that setup is, right? It's not going to reach all the rooms of the house. It's exactly what's happening when your child cannot sleep despite you doing everything right. The setup's perfect, but the signal's broken. So where does the signal break down? It's actually inside your child's autonomic nervous system. So let's chat about how sleep is actually supposed to work. You see, the autonomic nervous system runs everything that your body does automatically: heart rate, breathing, digestion, and absolutely circadian rhythms and sleep. Now, it has two modes. Mode one is the sympathetic side. That's the gas pedal. It's designed for alert, active, stress, go, 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 go. But mode two is the parasympathetic nervous system. It's the brake pedal. It's designed for rest, recovery, digestion, and for sleep. So for your child to fall asleep, that brake pedal has to win the fight. The body has to downshift, heart rate has to drop, muscles relax, cortisol goes down, melatonin production naturally in the body actually goes up. Our body temperature drops, the brain transitions from alert mode into rest mode. But the key player in this is what's called the vagus nerve. Now, I want you to remember that name, the vagus nerve, because it's the main highway of the parasympathetic brake pedal. It runs from the brainstem right at the base of the skull all the way down through the neck into the heart, the lungs, and the digestive tract. Now, when the vagus nerve's working properly, it's the thing that physically triggers your body's shift from on to off at bedtime. It slows down our heart rate, it deepens our breathing, it tells every organ in the body, hey, it's safe to calm down, it's safe to rest. But when the vagus nerve's not working properly, none of that happens. Your child's body stays locked into sympathetic overdrive. That gas pedal is stuck to the floor even when they are completely and desperately exhausted. And this is the critical question: what causes the vagus nerve to stop working properly? What we talk about in the office is stress and subluxation. Now, I know that's a big clinical word, so let's break it down into plain language. Subluxation is stress and tension that gets stuck within our nervous system, specifically in the neurospinal system. Now, it's not just a structural issue, it's a neurological one. Because when stress and subluxation is present, it actually creates interference to the signals traveling between the brain and the body. Communication actually gets disrupted. The nervous system can't regulate itself the way that it was designed to. And here's the thing: stress subluxation stuck into the upper neck, right where the brainstem meets the spinal cord, is exactly where the vagus nerve exits the skull. Now that's ground zero. When there is stress, tension, and interference at that junction, at that area, vagus nerve function is directly compromised. The brake pedal actually gets weaker. The gas pedal stays on, and your child's not going to access sleep. And this is what we see in practice every single week is that these kids come in and their parents have tried everything. Melatonin and lemon balm and all sorts of other things that didn't work, or maybe they worked for a week and then stopped. They've tried the sleep hygiene. They're doing things perfectly. There's dietary changes and magnesium and lavender and earlier bedtimes and later bedtimes, and nothing's consistently working. And when we scan these kids with the insight scans, we actually see every single time that a nervous system is stuck and lit up. Sympathetic dominance is off the charts, vagal tone so low that the body can't shift into rest, and that scan is showing us exactly why sleep hygiene is never going to be enough on its own. It's still important, but it's not doing the job. So, how did the nervous system get here in the first place? And this is what I want to introduce to you is something that we call the perfect storm. Now, most of the time when a child's nervous system is stuck in overdrive, it didn't just happen yesterday. It didn't happen overnight. It's a buildup, it's an accumulation. And it actually starts earlier than most parents realize and what most providers actually never talk about. It's often before your child was even born. You see, prenatal stress is real. Cortisol and stress hormones from mom's pregnancy crosses the placenta. Now, a baby developing inside of a high stress environment can have the nervous system wired toward a stress response from the very beginning. And then comes birth. And here's something that the conventional medical world never really talks about is that birth is a physically intense event. And the most vulnerable part of a baby's body during that process is the upper neck, exactly where the vagus skull exits. So inductions, C-sections, forceps, vacuums, and even just manual repositioning of a baby during delivery, all of that creates tension and stress that's stuck in the neurospinal system that compromises vagus nerve function from day one. So you know those babies who won't sleep, the ones that are colicky and inconsolable at 2 a.m., or those that seem wired and miserable no matter what you do. A lot of those babies have birth-related nervous system stress that nobody checked, that nobody scanned for, that nobody actually addressed. And then childhood happens. The antibiotics that disrupt the gut microbiome, and the gut and the vagus nerve are so deeply interconnected. There's the frequent ear infections, chronic constipation, reflux, colic. These aren't random separate problems. They're all signs and signals of a nervous system that's struggling to regulate from the get go. And with each stressor, the nervous system's ability to shift into that rest, digest, parasympathetic mode gets weaker and weaker. But by the time a parent's Googling sleep solutions at midnight, that system has usually been under this kind of compounding stress for years. And what happens to a kiddo that doesn't sleep? Now, I want to be very direct here because this part matters. Sleep's not a luxury for children. This is the time where the brain files away everything that it learned that day, when growth hormones are released and their body literally grows, when the immune system rebuilds itself, when the brain processes the emotional experience of the day. Now, without deep and restorative sleep, none of that happens the way that it should. Now, sleep deprived kids don't look sleepy, actually, at all. They look hyperactive, they look impulsive, they look emotionally dysregulated, explosive meltdowns that seem to come out of nowhere. And a lot of these children get labeled with ADHD, with sensory processing issues, with behavioral problems. And what I see over and over again is that the root of it all is sleep deprivation that's caused by a nervous system dysregulation. You see, the immune system can't rebuild during poor sleep, so these kids are constantly sick. They take antibiotics that then disrupts the gut, which weakens the vagus nerve, which then makes sleep worse. It's a cycle that feeds itself, and the conventional advice keeps addressing the branches while the root actually goes completely untouched. So, what does neurologically focused chiropractic care actually do? It addresses the root. It removes the stress, the tension, the interference. Now, through precise, gentle, specific adjustments that are designed for the nervous system, we remove that stress, that tension, that subluxation that's blocking proper nerve communication. Now, for infants and our children, these adjustments are incredibly gentle. We're talking about the same pressure you'd use to test an avocado at the store, but the neurological effect is significant because when stress and subluxation is removed, and that tension, especially within the upper neurospinal systems addressed, the vagus nerve can finally function the way that it was designed to. The brake pedal starts working again. The gas pedal can start to ease off. The body can actually downshift into that parasympathetic rest state. And this is what parents tell us over and over and over again. is that their sleep improves. Not instantly in every case, but because the nervous system has often been compensating for years, and sometimes it takes time to establish new patterns, but the direction of change is consistent. Falling asleep gets easier, the night wakings decrease, and then sleep gets deeper and more restorative, and then everything else starts to follow: their digestion, the immune function, behavior, and emotional regulation. Now, it's not random. This is the nervous system finally being able to do what it's always been designed to do. Now, at Hayden Family Chiropractic, we don't guess about any of this. We actually measure it. The insight scans, they let us see exactly where this stress, this stuckedness and subluxation is creating the stuck pattern, how severe the dysregulation is, and how it changes over the course of care. Because parents can literally watch their child's nervous system calm down on scans. But this is the difference between guessing and knowing. But here's the bottom line: sleep hygiene matters. Consistent bedtime matters. Limiting screens matter. I do all of those things and so much more for my own health and my own sleep hygiene. And those things are real, right? They support the process, but they only work consistently when the nervous system underneath can actually respond to them. So if that signal is broken, the setup doesn't even matter. So if you've tried everything, and I mean everything, and your child's still not sleeping, the missing piece is probably not another habit to add in or another supplement to try. The missing piece is neurological. And that's something that we actually assess, we measure, we observe, and address. So if your family is ready to stop chasing the symptoms of poor sleep and start getting to the root, reach out to us at Haven Family Chiropractic right here in Katy, Texas. Check the link in our bio, schedule your child's nervous system scans, and let's actually find out what's actually going on. And let's get your whole family sleeping again.